of the Alchemy of Us, along with the beautiful Tabitha Harris. I am Osric Baum, and we make up your host for the show about life, spirituality, relationships, and everything in between. Miss Harris, how are you doing on this cool evening?
Oh, I am doing great. Definitely great. Was a busy day at work, but I'm great. How are you doing today?
I'm the same. I'm the same. I'm doing good. I'm the flip side. It wasn't busy at all for me, but
Ooh,
time is time.
I tell you, my job right now it is busy. It's that time of year though, benefits
Hmm.
enrollment for
Yep.
people and soon tax time will be coming up from now probably all the way till about April will probably be pretty busy for me at work, but that's okay because that means more money.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I do want to put out that quick public announcement because you triggered something. I did have to do my benefits enrollment for next year
Mhm.
before that time ended. So, just to the listeners, she is correct. This is that benefit enrollment time, and every company's times are different. Just make sure that you're aware of yours and that you get that information in before that time is up.
Mhm.
Now,
And
with that,
mhm.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say too, especially to our listeners as well, make sure too, especially when it comes to during this time of year with doing your enrollment, that you think about, some of your life decisions because don't be so rush. Read things because a lot of times you don't read things, and sometimes your job may have changes in the type of plans that y'all are going to have. So please
Mm-hmm.
do your due diligence and just read things and ask questions. There's nothing that's stupid, a stupid question. And a lot of your HR people should be willing to help you and answer questions. So that's what I did want to follow up behind that. Make sure you ask plenty of questions.
Oh, excellent. That's excellent information. Hey, that's what we're all about. Just ensuring that we are all taken care of and all on the same page, and we get information. So, with that information exchanging is what we just did, but we also changed the energy.
Hmm.
Did we exchange energy because of what we just shifted to? Did we just do that,
I think so.
Miss Harris?
Yep, we did. We sure did shift the energy. And one of the things that we're going to talk about today is about life being an energy exchange. If we think about it, there's nothing in life that is free. Okay. So when we
Mm-hmm.
look at our interactions, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, it's an interaction of energy. And so, whether we're giving, we're receiving, we're investing, or withdrawing, those are all energy exchanges. And so, we're going to learn how to exchange consciously because that's what we really need to be doing. We really need to be focused on who we want to exchange our energy with. We really do need to think about
Mm.
that.
Mm.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to that, let's start with exchanging energy in itself. What does that actually mean to you?
Well, I think of it as the way I'm spending my time consciously with whatever it is that I'm doing. So whether it's
Okay.
people I'm conversing with, giving my time
Mm-hmm.
to, the
Mm-hmm.
way I may utilize my money, even
Mm-hmm.
my emotions are an exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that is about us is about exchange. So I consciously love to think about, am I willing to give this person my time? Because some people, you don't want to give your time. You really got to think about these things. And like I said, everything in life is about what we do. It's an endless series of exchanges. And so, regardless of what anybody thinks, I don't care who you are, what lifestyle you're living and leading, you're
Mm-hmm.
exchanging something to get something. We always do that. People even do that with God. I even
Mm-hmm.
think about that with God. consciously. I think about the things that I do and think about and say and where I want to go. I'm exchanging for something. There's nothing free here.
You're
It,
right.
mm-hmm.
You're right. So, well, and the explanation that you gave is one that I can agree with because, as I was telling a friend earlier today, where your focus, what you focus on, that's where your energy goes.
Yep.
Right. So whatever your focus
Mm,
is, your energy is going to flow that way. And as you said, it is an exchange. So
mm-hmm.
if if I want to get better at something, I'm going to put forth more energy
Mm-hmm.
into developing the skills around that particular skill that I want to develop, which means that the exchange is going to be I get better. I know
Mm-hmm.
that's a
Right.
simple that's more solo or
Mm-hmm.
just the individual. But it's no different than, okay, say you and I, we're getting to know one another to be in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship. Well,
Mm-hmm.
energy is exchanged because we find one another, we find a mutual connection that causes
Right.
us to want to share time together, which means that we are giving our energy to the other person.
Absolutely. And so, with that being said, y'all got if we think about it logically, these exchanges of our energy, time, emotion, love, our goods and services, we think about why do we do a lot of it? It's because we want something in exchange. What do we
Mm-hmm.
want? Some of us want security, we want peace, we want recognition, we want love. And so, these are things that we are trading, honestly, if we think about it logically. We're all exchanging something, but we have to really be in a conscious mindset to know who we want to exchange with and how we do that. And we can
Mm-hmm.
do that in a very in a more, I would say, uh authentic flow, because sometimes some of the things we do are not conscious decisions. Sometimes we just go about just doing stuff.
So, why do you think that is?
I think a lot of times some people are just not aware of having divine balance. See, when
Okay.
you become someone who understands yourself very well and you're moving in a certain direction in your life, you're making decisions that are actually based upon your own divine balance because that's what
Mm-hmm.
you want. You want things to kind of work out or measure. Will it be perfect? No, absolutely not. There are always going to be some things that's going to throw you off, but you're still going to move forward in life with saying, oh, okay, that didn't work for me. So, you know what? Let me change this and go a different direction, which you
Okay.
can do. We all get to do that.
So when when I am considering, or rather, let's go down this road. So everything is about an exchange,
Mm-hmm.
even if we attempt to be, even if we want to be alone, right? That's still an energy exchange, even if you're wanting to be alone, because of what you're going to be giving out to the universe,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily about a person per se. And the example
Right.
I first gave was about something that I wanted to do that I was putting energy in. So
Mm-hmm.
we're not necessarily going to always be looking at it in terms of a
Mm-hmm.
physical human interaction where we're talking about
Right.
energy exchange, although that is what we tend to look at. But
Mm-hmm.
it's about, as you said, everything.
Yep.
Everything that we do involves an energy exchange, because we're not going to get scientific at all on this topic, but that
Mm-hmm.
is a part of the science of life.
Yep. And everything in life is energy if we think about it, because energy is always moving. We
Hmm.
think about our senses and the things that we experience, whether it's kindness, love, different acts of service. Those are all forms of energetic currency. We all
Mm.
experience it. And when we think about what we give out to the universe, we always know that the universe will match that vibration. It does. So
Hmm.
whatever it is that you're seeking to give, the what you're getting in return, the universe will grant it based off of that frequency and that energy and that vibration that you put out. It matches it. And that's why we talk about being aware of what you're doing.
Right, right, right. That's why
Mm-hmm.
negative, and we're going to go this route. Negative self-talk
Mm-hmm.
is going to be detrimental to you, because your mind doesn't know anything different. It doesn't
Right.
know if you're speaking negatively or positively. All it knows is that whatever your thoughts are, it's going
Mm-hmm.
to work to manifest them. So negative self-talk, which is an energy exchange still,
Mm-hmm.
can be detrimental to you. So
Right.
because energy exchange is that, it what we just said is energy exchange, whether it's positive or whether it's negative, it's
Right.
still an exchanging of energy.
Right. And think about this, some examples of energy exchange. Think about sometimes when you're associating with certain people, you talk to them, what happens? They leave you drained. And then there's some that they charge you. That's an
Mm-hmm.
example. I mean, I remember I've had examples of this where when I talked to certain people at one point and they've made me filter, I was like, God dang, this is too much. I had to literally
Right.
go in seclusion because I'm like, oh no, mm-mm, I ain't doing that. Mm-mm. There's some people that literally just drain you, and that's not a fair exchange when someone's draining you.
Right.
And then if you think about even when it comes to business, sometimes people go into business together and both parties are aligned and it works out. Why? Because they both share the same similar values, they honor each other's values, and it works out. Why? Because they're aligned, and that's reciprocity. So it works out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think about when we give love, are you giving love from emptiness or are you doing it from overflow? That's another thing.
Mm.
That's a difference too. And
And what's
some
that
people
difference?
and some people when you're giving from emptiness, a lot of times you're not getting back what you need. You're actually a lot of times getting someone else who's giving from emptiness too.
Mm. Mm.
Whereas when you have
Mm.
someone that's in like an overflow, it's matching that and you're getting what you need.
Mm.
Think about that.
So how? Wow, that's interesting, because
Mm-hmm.
if I'm giving if I'm giving with an from an empty cup,
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm
It,
giving, is it, I don't even know the correct word to use. I'm going to go with, is that good?
listen, one of the things with an empty cup is that it can be refilled. A lot of
Okay.
times people don't allow their empty cup to be filled. And that's the
Mm.
problem because some people have issues with receiving. I had an issue
Mm.
with that for many years with receiving. I did.
Really?
Oh yeah. I had an issue with receiving because I'm such a giver. I'm always giving, giving,
Okay.
giving. I was always a giver.
Okay.
And I think when I was giving so much, I always used to get kind of like the opposite balance of someone who was just taking from me.
Right.
But see, when I changed who I was and also learned that, listen, I love myself, I deserve to give, but I need to receive and give in balance. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
change those things about me, about over giving, so that I balanced myself, so that I would also get someone who's like me, able to give and receive. And that's a balance,
Mm-hmm.
that's reciprocity. A lot of times
Mm-hmm.
people are over giving of themselves and they end up with takers. And that's because a lot of times I believe people, they want to receive, but do they actually believe they deserve to receive some of the good things that they know they deserve?
Or okay, now is another side that they may give because they're thinking that if they give, the other person is going to give that.
I think sometimes people do feel that, but I also think that sometimes in those situations, especially like if we think about relationships where people have given of themselves, and maybe in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like, oh yeah, this person is good to me, and then it flips
Mm-hmm.
to something else, and then it's a form of, then they realize, oh nope, this ain't what I'm aligned with, because why, you
Right.
weren't aligned in the first place.
Hmm.
I believe that's what genuinely happens, because a lot of times with people, they're givers in a lot of ways, but then what happens is they end up with someone who's just not aligned with them. So that's why we have to know who we are as individuals in order
Mm-hmm.
to align with the right people. I'm telling you, when I did a lot of my work on myself, I'm telling you, my whole life is so different now compared to how it used to be. I'm one of those people that, like, I have a very high vibration, my light, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I love people, and I will always get the people who, more so than ever, people like us who are just good-hearted people. We love people so much. We attract all the broken people. I always attract the broken
Mm.
people, and I never,
Mm-hmm.
I never was conscious about that, like why people talk to me. I Until I went on my journey of learning my spiritual gifts and things of that nature. And it's like, man, now I'm just like, I can spot people when I know they're a taker. I can spot
Mm.
them. I can spot them
Mm.
like that now. Why? Because I have intuition. I have a lot of wisdom, and I'm like, oh no, you ain't getting
Right.
that.
Right. Right.
You learn.
Okay.
hmm
You do.
Because one thing I can definitely say is, um, when, with the way the universe works, it's a spiritual abundant entity that operates for us, and a lot of people like to exploit when they're trying to exchange things with people. They do.
Mm.
They will
Mm.
exploit you for your own currency. They will use you for your energy, your time, and your services, and you have to learn not to allow people to do that to you. But people do it.
People do it now.
hmm
Do you accept that because you want the companionship, or you want the relationship, or you want the feeling that you have a connection with someone, or
hmm
or is that a reason why some people would even deal with that?
Um, People unfortunately exchange things for various reasons. There's usually something they want from that individual,
Mm-hmm.
which is why people exploit people the way they do. Think about it. If we think about when we look at a lot of things that we see on social media now, we see a lot of people exploiting folks.
Mm.
Let's take for example, and I'm going to bring this up too. If we think about recently, I saw on, what was it, TikTok? Who is
Okay.
that? That Marvin Wines with the church man.
Okay.
To me, church, a lot of these temples do exploit a lot of the people in them places. I don't care what nobody say, but it happens. Because my
Mm-hmm.
thing is, when we're living in, especially times right now, where people are having a hard time living because of inflation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then to ask you, and then to want your members to give, what was it? I think they said it was like $1,200 and she was short or something. Then there's some crap like that I saw. I was like,
Really?
why are you, first of all, in this day and age, if anything, a lot of these religious organizations, if anything, you should be feeding these people. You should be making sure that they never go hungry, that their lights are on, things of that nature. That's what it's supposed to be, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to be. I understand the relationship people have with God and stuff like that, and people go to these places for healing, for help, and stuff like that. But I was like, I looked at that. I said, to me, in my opinion, I said, that's a form of exploitation. That's just my opinion. And I understand people probably not going to like it, but I don't care. But that's my opinion.
Right.
That's my opinion. And I'm
You
entitled to it.
have you are entitled to your opinion.
And I just
I
think
mean,
people get taken advantage of.
yeah, I would agree. It is interesting because so the money that is asked for in church is, or I'm sorry, the tithing is for the purpose of building church up to glorify God. All right, and
But
so all of
that's just crazy to me, though, because my thing is this: since when do this temple have to be so elaborate for people to talk to the Creator? Come on now, that's crazy to me.
oh,
But
hey,
that's wild.
yes, it is wild. It is wild
I really honestly
because
think this is a finessing thing, though, for the people who are the leaders. That's just my opinion.
well, hey, again, everything is an exchange.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everything is an exchange, and um, uh, that energy exchange that we've been discussing, it
Mm-hmm.
can also come in the form of giving you what you want. So if I have an idea, or if I recognize what you want,
Mm-hmm.
then I can flow that energy to you. It may not be authentic, it may not be genuine, but I can still flow the energy for you to you so that I can get then what I want in return. Does that make sense?
It does. And I think too, for me, when I think about like divine order, I think about how everything flows in reciprocity, and how, if we are hoarding energy, if we're hoarding any of our energy, then we're actually creating a block in our flow. And then when
Hmm.
we overgive, what are we doing? We're depleting ourselves.
Hmm.
So, we want to exchange fairly. Honestly, that's what we want to do when it comes to our energy. We want to be in alignment with abundance. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's how we're supposed to do. And I understand that, like you said, I have that saying on my wall. What it say? Where your attention goes, energy flows.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to focus your attention on the things of where you want to be in alignment with. And that just takes effort and some time for you to get there, but you'll get there. Listen, we're all energetic mirrors. That's all we are. You yourself, you're the currency. Your
Mm-hmm.
emotions, your time, the things you do, the way you spend, and the attention that you give, you are the currency, and you must know that.
And which means that you control how the flow of energy that you give out, you control that.
Absolutely.
So you
Absolutely.
control it. And as you said, you choose who you want to engage with to change it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Everything in
So
alchemy is about giving and receiving.
and to be successful, as I am learning, you have to be intentional.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if you are intentional about what you're wanting to do, then you're able to keep that. You're able to have control over your energy exchange
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because
Absolutely.
because I'm intentional about who I'm with, who I deal with, even at
Mm-hmm.
work. I mean, regardless of where I am at, and this is just me personally, I am very intentional about who I choose to give energy to, even on just a very simplistic level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have to be more mindful with who we choose to align ourselves with. Because sometimes when you align yourself or or give attention to the wrong people and the wrong things, unfortunately sometimes you end up with a bunch of problems sometimes
Hmm.
behind that. So just be very aware with who you're choosing to surround yourself with. And please know that when you make the choice to make a change, it doesn't matter who doesn't like it. This is about you and your own mental health and self-worth. Because I find that a lot of times when we're going through these various exchanges and things that affect us, I think a lot of things affect us more mentally and emotionally than anything else. It really
I would
does.
I would agree. I would agree because that is really what what we're dealing in. We're not really dealing we're on a physical plane,
Hmm.
but as you said, everything that we're doing or the effects of what we do is on an emotional and mental level, and that's really what the energy exchange is.
Hmm.
Because if someone is draining you, then that is a mental drain, or it could be an emotional drain.
Hmm. Absolutely.
And that, yes, so you're absolutely correct with that.
Mhm. Mhm. And
Emotional and mental.
yeah, and also too, like I was saying before, when it comes to us receiving things, we have to know that we are deserving to receive. And I think sometimes when it comes to receiving, and this is what I notice, like
Hmm.
outside of work, I like to make things, whether it's mirrors for self love, I make bracelets, t shirts, all that type of thing. And sometimes, like when I would do my videos, I would tell people, I'm like, listen, after I, give them some good words, stuff like that,
Hmm.
I would tell them, I'm like, listen, for those of y'all, because I would share certain crystals with people because I do believe in crystal healing. And so
Okay.
because I had so many, it was so funny. I would tell people, I said, listen, I have extras. If you want one, you can DM me. I'll send you one for free. I said, I don't want anything in return. I just want to give it to you because I know it works. And it was
Hmm.
so funny. Some people were like, but it was funny. One lady came and said, I don't have any money to pay for it, but I'm willing. If you're serious, you're willing to give it to me, will you? I said, oh, absolutely. I said, just give me your address. I'm gonna send it to you. She's like, really? I said, yes. People have trust behind people giving them things. And I understand
Mm.
it because why? We live in a society who they say they want to give you things, but then they do other things to you too.
Right.
So
Is
I
that
get why,
something for
right? I
nothing?
get why people have trust issues behind receiving
Hmm.
because they do.
That's true. But
It's an act
and
of trust.
so it is an act of trust, and that's where when you're genuine and you're authentic, then and that's coming from a good place. You know,
Yeah.
it made me think. You made me think of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
So for what I do, I'm in a leadership role, right? And I've
Right.
been in a leadership role for many years in various companies. But when I was in one particular place, I was helping to develop this
Mm.
guy. Okay,
Okay.
so he was the brother
Mm-hmm.
of another gentleman
Mm-hmm.
who I had developed, and and that gentleman would end up getting promoted. Then he would leave because he wants to pursue another. He had the opportunity to pursue a dream of his,
Mm-hmm.
but he got his brother a
Mm-hmm.
job there, and so I didn't know his brother, but I knew him, and so I
Mm-hmm.
was going to help his brother off of the strength of the relationship that he and I had. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm, pouring into his brother, giving him insight, helping to
Mm-hmm.
develop him. And he said to me one day,
Mm-hmm.
why am I helping him? That's what he asked me.
Hmm.
And he asked me in a manner as if as if it was an ulterior motive from
Mm-hmm.
me, is how I took it. So we're talking about energy exchange where I am flowing energy into him. I'm not really getting
Mm-hmm.
anything back, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
looking to get anything back because I
Mm-hmm.
was hoping to help further someone to reach their goal. Okay,
Right.
that was my only intent. And
Mm-hmm.
so when he asked me that question, and he asked me in such a manner that made it seem like he didn't trust my intentions, I had to pull back because
Mm-hmm.
what that told me was that not only did he have trust issues, but
Mm-hmm.
now I can't trust him. That's how I took it.
Yeah. Yeah. I got it. Yeah. He definitely has some trust issues because as what people don't realize is that leaders, true leaders, are there to build and help other people become leaders as
Mm-hmm.
well so that
Right.
they can lead as well. That's the purpose of it. And he probably just didn't get it. But a lot of times people struggle with the receiving part because they've probably experienced a lot of things in their lifetime of people giving them things, but then saying, "Oh, okay, well, if you do this, you got to do this for me." People experience that, so I get it. I get why some
Mm.
people, get into those stances where they're like, "Well, what do you want to give me for? Why? Why you want to give to me for what?"
Right,
I get it.
right. And that's crazy because I'm not and I'm going to continue with me.
Mm-hmm.
My whole I know that my purpose is to help others. I know that's what my
Mm-hmm.
purpose is. My
Mm-hmm.
purpose
Mm-hmm.
is to help others to share the knowledge that I have
Right.
to and so I can become invested. I said this to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an all in person.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I am doing something with someone else, if they
Mm-hmm.
say, "Hey, I need my help," I'm all in with
Right.
you. I mean, I'm right beside you in on this journey because that's just the type of person that I am. And so it's sometimes it's disheartening, and it goes to your point of being uh,
Mm-hmm.
intentional and knowing who you can share or exchange energy with,
Yeah.
because on the flip side, I can be involved with someone who can take advantage of how I look to support you, and you
Mm-hmm.
really not do anything for yourself, and it's all me supporting you. So that is that other out of balance issue that you can have. So it's the trust issue, or it is the you just not doing anything to keep receiving the energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And I think that when it comes to us um, balancing our energy exchanges, we definitely want to, kind of ask ourselves some things too as we're going through, these various things that we experience. You want to
Okay.
ask yourself, why am I giving out of guilt? Where am I giving out of guilt or fear rather than love? Who
Mm.
or what consistently drains my energy? We all know we
Mm.
get energy drains. You need to think about that. And what do I expect to get in return from what I'm giving? A lot of times, people, are you giving freely, or are you saying, "No, I want something in return"? Why are you giving? Do you expect something in
Mm-hmm.
return when you give something? And also, you want to think about how can you create a fair energetic exchange, whether it's in love, work, or even in your purposes. You
Mm.
need to think about these things as you're going about trying to balance your life with various exchanges, and take that and think about that. So as you listen to it, if you got to go back and listen to what I said, think about those 4 questions. What exactly are you really think about that when it comes to your own exchanges? Because a lot of times we don't realize we're doing things without even a real thought to them. We're just being thrown about. And if
Mm-hmm.
you want to have a reciprocal type of exchange with people, be very conscious about what you want and be direct and be honest. And that's another thing. People ain't really honest a lot of times with the type of exchanges that they want to do with folks
So when you say be honest, are you saying
in
both be
anything.
honest with yourself and
Absolutely.
with
Hmm.
whomever?
And whoever it is, whatever it is that you're exchanging, whether it's business, personal, relationships, just be honest
Mm-hmm.
about what is it that you're looking to get in return.
Okay. How does that look? How does that look?
Well, it depends on what it is. It really does depend on what it is you're looking to exchange. I mean, let's be re- let's take we could take the example of dating.
Okay.
There are people we
So.
know that get on these dating apps, and what
Mm-hmm.
do they do a lot of times? They put all these little false narratives in these profiles, knowing, oh, I don't want a relationship. I want a physical exchange. Be honest
Okay.
with your stuff up front. That's
Okay.
that's a, that's a good example because people do that all the time. They get on these dating apps, and then what do they do? Oh, I just want to, oh, I'm looking for a long term relationship. No, you're not. You just want to smash. Trying to get something that I like to
Right.
smash. Be honest about that. Another thing I think about is when I think about employment, and this is a good
Mm-hmm.
example too. I there was someone in a job that I had not too long ago, not this one, but another one, where the
Okay.
leader was saying how she hired this employee who she believes only wanted to get her foot in the door, but knew what the job required of her. She can't, you're not allowed to. Yeah, you have. Yeah, she was employed to
Mm-hmm.
come to work in an office space. She gets there, start working for a couple of weeks, and now what is she trying to do? She's trying to maneuver herself to be able to not come into the work office every day. She's trying to ask her leader, "Hey, can I work from home?" The leader's like, "No, no,
Mm.
no. This job requires you to be here in the office. It's not." The employees seem to have thought before that she can do this job at home. But the manager's like, no, no, this ain't what you signed up for.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think you were trying to get in exchange? Were you trying to bull guard your way to say, oh, I got my foot in the door, but now I want to get out of here. And I want to do something else. And think
Right.
about this
Right.
logically about even people who accept jobs, who come into jobs, this is the job that you signed up for. but then you
Mm-hmm.
don't do the job. Come on now. You know what you applied for, especially when it's physical jobs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I saw
Mm-hmm.
that a lot when I worked part-time at FedEx.
Okay.
I'm was one of the oldest ones there working with them. I knew it was physical work. And then we have the younger kids that come in, and then what they will not want to do, they don't want to sling the boxes. I'm saying to myself, well, you knew what you signed up for. Why are you even here? This isn't even a fair exchange for the job that you signed up for.
Right. Right. So okay. So since you bring it up, so I work for FedEx, as you know,
Right.
and I'm a leader there where I work at. So I have the opposite viewpoint. So I have people, I have managers or supervisors that think just like you. Hey, you signed up to work here, so you know what the requirements are. You know what the requirements are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, it's the young people, but the older people sometimes, or really, not really the older people, not really the older people, really some of the women. Some of the
Mm-hmm.
women are like, these packages are too heavy. And that's why I was like, okay,
You knew what
but
you signed up for.
you know what you signed up for. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I take things into consideration because
Mm-hmm.
although, yes, you know what you signed up for, you know the packages are going to
Mm-hmm.
be, it's going to be a labor intensive job.
Right.
I also want to make sure though that you are safe, that you work
Right.
safely.
Yeah.
So you'll get trained, but then I will put it in ways to where you can get the help that you need. So I don't put you
Mm-hmm.
out there on an island like some people would,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm compassionate. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
compassionate, and a lot of times that can get you well. That can get you um, out of balance when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to energy exchange.
Right.
Because if you're a compassionate or empathetic person, then you may give people, as we say, the benefit of the doubt more than probably what they should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
Absolutely.
but it's still about energy exchange. So the theme, which was energy exchange, and the
Mm-hmm.
point that Tabitha has made throughout this conversation is that everything that we do
Mm-hmm.
is about energy exchange. Everything that we do,
Absolutely.
it doesn't make a
Absolutely.
difference. It doesn't make a difference what it is.
And if we think about too, you like we were saying, like I was saying before about being conscious of who you are exchanging with, because like I said before, sometimes our karmic imbalance comes from sometimes us being involved in exchanges that are not clean. There are
Mm,
things that people do that they get involved with, and then you have a consequence
mm,
behind something that you decided to give your attention and your time to.
mm-hmm,
And that's where a lot of those them imbalances come from. It comes from you deciding to participate willingly in stuff you know is just wrong. Stuff you
mm-hmm,
know you just have no business even doing. And a lot of times that leaves you to a lot of emotional unrest. And it also leaves you with a lot of issues that you end up having to deal with because you chose to involve yourself in practices and behaviors that you normally would not do. Because why? You were maybe in a space of desperation, or you
mm,
might have been in a space where you were naive and
mm,
being manipulated by someone. So you
mm-hmm,
must be very aware of some of the things that you get yourself involved in, and be very, like I said, you want to have a good balance in life and never allow anyone to misuse you for their own purpose, because people will
mm-hmm,
utilize you in so many different ways. And before you know it, you have nothing but a mess on your hand and you're trying to figure out, how do I get out of this? But it does happen.
Mm-mm.
It does have, we see people misuse and abuse in many ways. So be very aware of who you are surrounding yourself with, and make sure that the people that you align yourself with, or people that you're giving your time to, that they're people that's going to charge you in a positive way. People who want to really help you move your life in a way that's going to create balance. It's going to help you to grow and evolve, because we always talking about growing and evolving as well.
Mm-hmm.
But be very
Mm-hmm.
aware of those dark sides of exchanging things that you really don't want to, because there's nothing you do not have to do. I don't care what people tell you.
Right.
You're in control
Right.
of you. It doesn't matter how much generosity sometimes people say they will, things they will give you. You better pay attention to what they're asking you in exchange for what you're
Mm-hmm.
going to give them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to
Hey,
be careful.
I I'm going to say that that what you just said was not only very profound, but it was powerful because that that is real. That is real.
Mhm.
You 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 have to be careful with who you exchange energy with, um, and it goes to selling your soul, as they say.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because that there again, everything that we do is about an energy exchange, and so it needs to be it. I'm not going to say it needs to be. Your intent is what it's going to be. Let's just put it that way. Your intent is what it's going to be. And so if you have good intentions, then that energy exchange will bear positive fruit. If you have bad intentions, that energy exchange will bear negative fruit. But it's all about what your intentions are. So you got to be intentional. You got to be conscious about the fact that you are exchanging energy.
Mhm.
And then it needs to be purpose. It has to have a purpose. It has to have a purpose. This is just my thoughts. I think Tab is in alignment with that as well. That you have to have a purpose for what it is that you want to do when we're talking about exchanging energy.
Mhm. Yeah. It's sad because in today's society, and because of a lot of the things that are going on in the world, a lot of people are exchanging things that they probably would never do. They're doing things
Mm,
more so than ever for attention. And I see a lot of this stuff, especially on social media. People sometimes are so desperate for money, they're willing to do any and everything on these internet streets to
mm-hmm,
see how they can even gain finances and stuff like that, money. And that's not a good thing when you're trying to utilize things that just low behavior, that you just
mm,
have no business. Because my thing is this, I keep telling people, the internet is a good tool to use, but many abuse it, especially these various social media spaces. A lot of
mm-hmm,
people more and more are doing things out of desperation to get the attention of massive people to go viral and doing
mm,
things. My thing is, you got to think like this: the things I'm doing, especially on this internet, 5, 10 years down the line, is what I'm doing something I want people to see? Because once it's on there, you can't get rid of it.
no, you can't get rid
You
of it.
cannot.
Nope.
So you got to think about that, because a lot of folks I'm seeing these days are doing all kinds of crazy, heinous stuff. I'm like, y'all, mm. I'm like, ooh, don't do anything that will bite you, like I say, in the ass later on. Think about that. Think about that, because there are consequences for everything. And not just that, think about this too. This is another thing. A lot of you are doing things out here that, just say you go work for a big corporation. What make you think that these corporations don't look on social media to find stuff out about you? Because they do.
They do.
Oh, they do. And they
Yes, they
have
do.
policies against behaviors outside the workplace. So
Hmm.
you better be mindful of what you're doing, what you're saying, because it definitely does happen.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And so, I mean, I couldn't say it any better than what you've already said. Again, it goes back to something very simple. First, recognize that everything that you do is an energy
Right.
exchange. That's the first thing. You have to recognize that. Once you recognize that, now you can be conscious and intentional about how you move when you are exchanging the energy. There's situations where you have, well, no, let me take that back. You have a choice. You have a choice on how you respond to whatever a situation is. That is a
Right.
form of energy exchange. That is a form of energy exchange because we talked about it being mental or emotional. So situations that arise, you have the power and you control how you respond to it. And how you respond to it is the energy that you're going to exchange.
Hmm. And think about just like some of the things that you want in return. Listen, I know that a lot of people are going through a lot of things emotionally out here, and you're just trying to better your life. My thing is this: if you um, start being mindful about how you want your life to be, and move your life with the greatest of intentions, and start outputting and thinking of those things, and just start doing just few things to start moving your life in a better way, trust me, those things will get better with time. But you can't think that it's going to happen immediately. It just takes some time, because sometimes the mess that we create takes some time to get out of it. It
Mm-hmm.
does. We all make a mess sometimes with various things, or sometimes life just happens to where our life gets filled sometimes with chaos and all kinds of things. And then what happens is we start getting back into a center to where now your life starts getting better. So when it starts
Mm-hmm.
getting better, just start doing more things to pour into your life being better, and start talking and saying how your life looks, what it feels like, where you want it to be. And that vibration, that frequency, that energy where you're thinking and you're staying, it will come. But you just have to be patient with it, because a lot of people just ain't patient. They just want anything now. It doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't work like that. It's not a microwave. But I think
Nope.
that is an excellent stopping point for us because
Hmm.
of how you just ended it, which is it takes time.
Yep.
It
And
takes time. Go ahead.
and I was gonna say, since this is gonna be like a stopping point, I do have an affirmation for everybody.
Oh, go ahead.
This is your soulful affirmation for today. And I want you to take this away, and this is what you can say to yourself. You could say, every exchange is sacred. I give with love. I receive with gratitude. I honor my worth, my energy, and my divine economy. May all that I give return multiplied in light, love, and peace.
Your soul affirmation for today.
Yes. I
I,
hope y'all have a great day.
hey, I hope you enjoyed the show. Tabitha, as always, she talks that talk and she leaves me energized. I hope she did the same for you as well. Energy exchange.
Mm.
rewind the tape back to the 53-minute mark. That's when you will get the soul affirmation from Miss Tabitha Harris. On behalf of her, I'm Osric Baum. This is the Alchemy of Us. Join us next week when we continue to break down life, spirituality, relationships, and everything. And remember, energy exchange. You control it.
That's right. Y'all have a good night.
Good
Bye
night.
now.